Welcome to Inspired Living with Mark and Kim. Every Wednesday, Mark and Kim, along with their special guests, will explore thought-provoking topics and ideas that promote creativity, self-help, healing, happiness, and well-being to inspire you on your spiritual journey. Each week, Mark and Kim will discuss different paths to achieving a more spiritual, balanced, happy, and healthy lifestyle. Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience, and all things spiritual. Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. Mark and Kim are tested, certified, and professional spiritual mediums, metaphysical teachers, healers, and spiritual advisors with their own individual spiritual practices in Seattle, Washington, and Los Angeles, California. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Happy New Year, inspired listeners. Can you believe it's 2016? Wow, where's the time gone? I don't know about you, but I'm excited for what's in store this year. I really believe it's going to be a special year in all good ways. Don't know why, just have that feeling. But for starters, I know one reason for that is because of our first guest of the year on Inspired Living. And in just a short while, you'll see what I mean. She is beyond fabulous and incredibly inspirational. So I'm really excited, and I know Mark is too, to introduce our special guest for today. But first, I'm Kim Thalkin, founder of Love First, where life transformations happen in beautiful and rainy, very rainy Encino, California, although I just love the rain. So if there's anything that I can do to help support you in the way of readings, healings, or hypnotherapy, please visit me at lovefirst.info. I do want to mention real quickly an upcoming mediumship development class that I'll be hosting on Saturday, February 6th. We did switch the dates. Would love to have you if you're interested in exploring mediumship. Well, we'd love to have you, and all you have to do is look at my website under classes, and you'll read the description. Everything is there, and you can also reserve your seat as well. So thank you for that. And now for the very special introduction of my co-host and beautiful friend who always knows how to make me smile, the intuitive prospector, Mark Lanehart in Seattle, Washington. Mark, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Hi, Kim. Hello, inspired listeners. Thank you so much for joining us today on the first, what Kim and I call the Wisdom Wednesday of 2016. So just want to say Happy New Year, and just a reminder that this is the year for you, our inspired listeners, of completion, rest, healing, forgiveness, and completes the 9-year cycle in numerology. So enjoy it.
Yes. Now, Mark, just want to let our listeners know, too, if you could let them know where they can find us on social media, especially today with our guests. Well, actually, we've got a really hot month this month with our upcoming guests here. But So just for today and the other Wednesdays in the month where you'd like to interact with us and send through your questions, you'll need to know this information.
Yeah, so if you want to interact with the live show right now, we just ask that you head over to Facebook or Twitter. Those are our two main social media pages, and you can just ask to join Inspired Living Radio with Mark and Kim. You can post your question there live right now, and we'll do our best to bring it live to air with our special guests through the month of January. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Inspired For Us. That's the number for us. And also over at Google Plus Communities under Inspired Living with Mark and Kim. And if you do miss this live show today, catch us over on our encore shows over on OMTimes Radio Archives. We're now being featured on YouTube, Vimeo, podcast, as far as Podbean, SoundCloud, and you can get all of the shows off of my site as well at marklanehart.com.
Now, Mark, if you want to let the listeners know, too, I know you've got a couple of workshops coming up as well, right?
I do. I have the first workshop of the year on January 24th. It's called Nice Aura, and it's a metaphysical workshop that I'll be holding here at my healing studio in Seattle, Washington. You can find that information over on my page on Facebook, either the Intuitive Prospector or marklanehart.com. And then I have another metaphysical spiritual mediumship workshop on February 20th, which is called Spiritual Borders. And we're going to be looking at how to grow your mediumship, how to develop with spirit, spiritual inspirations, a little bit of spiritual trance. So if you're interested in any of those two workshops, please visit me at marklanehart.com, or just you can internet search the Intuitive Prospector and I'll pop up here in Seattle, Washington.
And not only that, but our guest today has a whole host of workshops and speaking engagements that she does as well. So between the three of us from coast to coast, there's something out there for everyone. You'll really be spiritually tuned up by the end of this year if you take advantage of all of these great workshops and classes and just different opportunities to learn from different people. Now, Mark, as you and I have been doing since the inception almost of our show, we've got our monthly inspired affirmation. So this being the first Wednesday of the month, would you like to share with our listeners what that is?
I would be happy to. And just wanted to remind all of our inspired listeners out there, if you want to be part of the show, Kim and I have launched our sponsorship packages for Inspired Living. Great way to get your business name out there with the show. We're broadcasting over 154 different countries now, and we are a growing show. So if you're interested in sponsorship, come on aboard. We'd love to have you as a team member and as a partner of Inspired Living. As far as our Inspired Living positive affirmation for the month of January, like Kim said, we do this for the entire month. We've found, studies have shown that if you have a positive affirmation and you say it to yourself daily, you can actually start to see changes in your life, changes in yourself, and changes in the world around you. And so we thought for the month of January, we would start off with 2016, and the positive affirmation is, I have an unshakable determination and willpower to make 2016 my most successful year ever. I'll read it one more time. I have an unshakable determination and willpower to make 2016 my most successful year ever. And that is our Inspired Living positive affirmation for the month of January.
All right. So together as a community, boy, there's a lot we can do to make that happen. Woohoo. All right. With that said, let's talk a little bit about our special guest today, Allison Hayes, the Rock Girl. She is an international award-winning psychic, a past life channeler, and motivational speaker. She travels worldwide as a master teacher and healer and is the founder of the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. She is also a popular radio personality throughout the nation. She has graced the cover of OMTimes magazine, and she's appeared on the season finale of Cyndi Lauper's She's Still So Unusual on WE Television. She was awarded Psychic of the Year for 2011 and 2012, and she's also the Celebrity's Choice Winner Award by Shay Parker's Best American Psychics. The Rock Girl is a celebrity favorite, and she offers psychic readings and Reiki classes, among a whole host of other things that we're going to be going through today. She's known for her accurate, detailed, and evidential readings, and she's been billed as the Lara Croft of psychics. Wow. Okay. She does a lot of work with stones and crystals, and she's known for her unique crystalline soul mapping technique, which I'd love to learn more about. And she can help you attain deep, long-lasting healing on a soul level. Always important when you connect down to the soul level. So whether you have questions about love, relationships, career, past lives, connecting to your spirit guides, or finding your soul's deepest purpose, Allison can help you do what she does best, which is discover the legacy of your soul. Love it. You can find Allison at therockgirl.com or sacredstoneschool.com. And we've also listed all of her links on our Facebook page, so make sure that you check into that so you know how you can learn more about what she does. Allison, welcome to Inspired Living. We've got 3 minutes. With that introduction, 3 minutes until our first break. But welcome to Inspired Living.
Welcome to the Rock Girl.
Why, thank you. Thank you, Mark and Kim. Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Yay. Shay, I can't tell you, we were really looking forward to this, and we were so excited that you were the first guest to kick off the new year. So Allison, I tell you, with all that you do, I mean, I feel like we're going to need, an hour is just not going to do us justice. It's really not. So we have to make the most of our time. Now, we've got just a couple of minutes till we go till break here, 2 minutes left, but we know that you're a talented psychic medium. You've been given all kinds of awards for that, and the celebrities love you, which is always fun. So let's start off by talking a little bit of fun here. What's it like to read for celebrities?
It's actually not that fun. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah.
All right.
Technically speaking, it's exactly the same as anyone else, except there's a lot more pressure and expectations. And I'm going to be honest with you, you have to really be great at keeping secrets. A lot of them use pseudonyms and they don't like to be referenced, and I have to sign, non-disclosures and agreements, and I completely understand that. But one of the reasons I have so many celebrity clients is because I say I have celebrity clients, but I don't name them, and they really appreciate that sense of non-disclosure. And so I keep them, close to my heart and quiet, just like everybody else. As you know, as psychic mediums, everything is confidential. And I go to great extents to assure them of that. And honestly, they pay my bills. So,
well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say too, Allison, I've had the opportunity to read for some celebrities as well. And when it comes down to it, they're just like anybody else. They want to know, is Bobby Joe going to call them back? And, is this project going to be picked up, or when are they going to find their significant others? So they're facing, even though they may have millions in the bank, they're facing a lot of the same questions that we do.
Oh, every day. And it's a really great example of how we're all the same on the soul level.
And with that thought, just hold that for one moment as we head to break for 2 minutes. We'll be back with Allison Hayes, the Rock Girl.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Are you ready to shift your energy, consciousness, and limiting beliefs? Join me, Shefali Burns, every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Shifting with Shefali here on OMTimes Radio. Shift the blocks, limitations, and negative energies that have kept you from experiencing a life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Are you ready to shift with Shefali? Are you ready to shine your brilliance?
Are you seeking answers to life questions? Would you like to connect to a departed loved one? Are you suffering from pain, stress, or anxiety? Kimberly Thalkin is a tested, certified, and professional psychic, spiritual medium, energy healer, hypnotherapist, and the founder of Love First, where life transformations happen. Love First services support, guide, and empower individuals by connecting them to their highest potential to live a healthier, joyful, and meaningful life that's filled with purpose. All services can be done by phone, Skype, or in person in Encino, California. Please visit lovefirst.info. That's LOVEFIRST.info for more information. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millisers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
And And welcome back, inspired listeners, to Inspired Living with our special I'm tongue-tied. Our special guest today, Allison Hayes, the rock girl. I just want to give a quick shout out. My husband's listening. He sent me a text message. He said, the rock girl sounds cool. And that she is. So Allison, before we went to break, you were talking about being the same at the soul level. What does that mean?
Oh, well, no matter, as you too well know, no matter who you're reading for, we basically, I go straight to the soul level, and it's a frequency of oneness, but as well as individuality. And so after you get past the celebrity name and the energy and, of course, the gigantic auric field, when you're speaking to their guides or reading for their loved ones who passed over, it's really the same technique. And then everything, what I do is I channel up, I go through the veil, and then connect them to the guides. And so I kind of leave that very large presence on the human level, and then I go over on the soul level, and it's an interesting exchange over there. I'm just the messenger, simply passing the messages on to the person on the earthly plane, and they all feel the same, which is wildly unique, and it's just invigorating to be that close to spirit. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. I get thrilled. I love the psychic readings and I love the mediumistic readings because, it's just, you're in the presence of such awesome energy. So, it's all the same, but everyone has that unique blueprint to their soul. So I find that wildly interesting as well.
Yes, I can definitely understand what you just described there. I've experienced that too in my own sessions, and really just the importance of connecting one to themselves, really to get to know themselves at a deeper level, so that they can live more in alignment with really who they are. But now, you do so much outside of readings and delivering messages from loved ones. Where do your true passions lie? With the work that you do, what is it that you really want to accomplish with your talents and your wisdom? And what's the most important thing that you want people to be able to learn from you?
Oh, I have to chuckle, Kim. I'm a Gemini.
Was that a funny question?
No. It was actually a great question. And I have to chuckle because I am a Gemini in this lifetime anyway. So I have many.
Me too.
When's your birthday?
June 15th, but I kind of keep that on the DL because, there's all kinds of craziness out there spoken about Geminis.
Oh, yeah. I've just, as you well know, I'm full disclosure. So I'm June 5th. I'm 10 days ahead of you. And yeah, we can be a little bit crazy. I call it crazy with a capital K, and that's a good crazy. It's never a dull moment crazy. How's that? Yes.
Oh, that's true.
So is there 2 guests on the show right now, or is there technically 4 guests on the show? I'm just curious.
Probably 4.
Probably 4. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And I have a Taurus rising and a Capricorn moon, and they're both earth signs, so they do ground me. So I have years of therapy and all sorts of things to make me sane. So I've worked very hard to get to this point, and I proudly wear the badge of Gemini. So getting back to the plethora of passions, there's so many. I do psychic readings. I work with stones, of course. I do Reiki healing. And when I talk about Reiki, it's the huge energy of Reiki, not just kind of the myopic, put your hands here and breathe like this kind of thing. And then I also do planetary gridding and I teach. And I love all of them. And I have to tell you that if I schedule, as you know, I schedule my schedule way in advance. I used to schedule it 6 months ahead of time, and now it's a year ahead of time. And I get to pick and choose how I schedule my month. And I want some teaching in there. Well, I have to have. It's like having nutrients for your soul. I have to have readings, teaching, stonework, Reiki, and so I have to have that melange like every month. And so I guess the 2 main passions of my life, and I say my life because my work is my life, and are the spirit and the stone. The spirit is connecting to spirit and connecting to souls, whether they're human souls, animal souls, planetary soul, the souls of the planets, and then also the stone, which is Mother Earth. I love Mother Earth, and I am equally as passionate about Mother Earth as I am for the souls, especially on the human level. And my goal is to get the two of them to be, or at least help people, each and every individual who comes down this path anyway to the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School, is to have a mutual balance, respect, and education of each other. And so that's really my passions. And I love teaching, whether it's about psychic stones or Reiki. And the one that I just unleashed really is the planetary gridding program. And it's all about learning how to grid with stones that help enhance the work of the earth chakras, not only for the earth itself, but connecting the human soul and spirit to the planet.
So when you say planetary gridding, what exactly does that mean? And it's interesting that you're talking about connecting the earth to the human spirit, because in a recent channeled session that I had, I was getting the same messaging. Very, very important in this upcoming year, that people become more respectful of the earth, our home. So, how does planetary gridding work, and how does it work to do what it is you just talked about, and how can people participate in that?
Okay, great. Well, for years we've been hearing about global warming and all of this stuff. And I remember in the 70s, I was born in 1966, and in the 70s, the gas crunch, and I was just this little girl having an anxiety attack that the planet was running out of energy. Remember the gas lines and everything? So I was like kind of acutely aware that we weren't treating our planet very nicely, and that I was afraid that we were going to kill the planet as a small child. And later on in my 20s and 30s, I went over to Europe to study all about stones, crystal Reiki, and actually that's where I got a lot of my psychic training. And I realized that Mother Earth is going to be just fine. We are the ones, if we are not in sync and compatible with Mother Earth, that will be wiped out through the floods or the ice ages. Yeah, I mean, that's history, is it not? And so I thought, wow, what we have to do is learn how to become more we-centric, as we and the planet, rather than me-centric, meaning just us as human beings kind of floating around. And so I realized, and that's when I started writing a lot of my curriculum, is that we have to be more in touch with our own chakras and our auric field, able to connect to the planet, because the planet will be here. She might kind of be a wreck from time to time, but she will, she will recover. But we can't connect to Mother Earth if we don't know ourselves. Does that make sense? Because we have to connect ourselves. So I started teaching chakra balancing, auric field, and Reiki. And then when people know more about themselves and they are more aligned, then they can work with the earth. Planetary gridding is learning how to find an earth chakra, tap into the center of the earth chakra, and utilize a certain placement of stones to enhance the connection to that particular earth chakra. Now, I teach, and I've learned this over in Europe, in chakra balancing for humans, we have over 88,000 chakras in our body. A lot of them are very, very small. We have the 7 main chakras, which we're pretty much aware of these days. However, we have all these little chakras, and the earth has all these little chakras too. And so the chakras of the planet, if we're having a low energy day, or we're too frenetic and we need grounding, we can connect to the earth for grounding and healing. I teach a manifestation class, which actually has been picked up over in Japan, believe it or not. And they love the concept of manifestation. And what I do is teach them how to tap into the engine, the earth chakras, of the planet, in order to carry their desires into the physical form called manifestation. And so it's all about connecting to the earth in order to get more energy for healing, for manifestation, for love. To just go there and recharge And we also can tap into the earth chakras through the planetary gridding for guidance. Because, it's interesting, Mark and Kim, for the last, 20, 30 years, we've been talking about spirituality and spirit, and we've all been looking up. But, to the divine, which is a great place to go, of course. We all know that because people like you and me, we live this every day. However, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And so we can look to Mother Earth for guidance as well, which is so exciting. Can you tell? I'm off the charts about that.
Did you say 88,000?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
We have over 88,000 chakras in our body. Many are so very, very tiny. But they all need to be working in sync with each other. And even one tiny chakra out of whack can make us feel like we're having an off day.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I was just going to agree with you going back to Mother Earth that we, especially in this year, as the year of the great humanitarian, we have to learn to be better tenants because Mother Earth is the landlord and she can evict at any time. So I agree exactly what you're saying. Mother Earth will be fine. We have to clean our act up and get in touch with ourselves in what we're doing. We can do that through your classes, Kim's classes, my classes, balancing the chakras, learning, discovering, exploring, and all that. I just wanted to say that.
Yes, absolutely. And I may add, if I can, a lot of people think they take one chakra class or one auric field class. The more classes you take, the more you know. I have taken thousands and thousands of classes on the same topic, and just because you it's not one and done.
Learn.
Exactly.
Well, I just read on your site too, Allison, all the knowledge that you have. I mean, you on the stones in particular. You've been studying this for over 20 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, I need to update that. It's really going on 30 because I'm about to be 50.
Oh, my goodness.
10-year window.
Yeah, I really do need to update that part. But yes, you are indeed on the right path.
Okay. People, they learn from different teachers and they hear all the knowledge that you have, but that didn't just come overnight. I mean, it came from years of traveling abroad to study, learning from different teachers over many decades now. Anyways, on that note, we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us as we talk to Allison Hayes, the rock girl.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi, this is Julie Geigel.
I'm Maggie Chula.
And I'm Catherine Glass.
And we're the Psychic Angel Channelers. Join us every week here on OMTimes Radio for Angel Talk Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
The angels have heard your call and are here to help.
Are you ready to receive?
Remember your magnificence with Angel Talk Tuesday.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Mark Lanehart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Mark's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Mark's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marklanehart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.
Welcome to The Gathering Around My Kitchen Table on Equilarium FM, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join my guests as we integrate spirituality into everyday reality with vibrant conversations, inspired interviews, and my latest channeled guidance to inspire and brighten your day. I'm Claire Johnson, and together we'll be raising vibrations across the nations.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
And welcome back, inspired listeners. You are listening to Inspired Living with Mark and Kim here on OMTimes Radio, the voice of consciousness. Our special guest today, Allison Hayes, the Rock Girl. And Allison, we have a couple questions that have come in, but real quick, we always like to give a inspired listener shout out to any of our new listeners around the world. And just want to give a special shout out to Rhonda, who says she is a student of yours, Allison. So thanks for listening in today, Rhonda. We always appreciate new listeners to Inspired Living. And with that, Kim, you have our first question of the day for the Rock Girl. Chip away.
I do. So we have a question from Tiffany, and she would like to know if you see her moving in together with her boyfriend this year and if they'll get engaged.
Oh, okay. Is that a rock reading? I think. Yes. Now, do you want to do readings on this show? Because I'm going to have to move my chair over to the rocks.
Oh,
and
let's do a rock reading, because I don't think we've never had that before. All right, this is a special
first rock
for
reading.
us.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have to prepare myself a bit. So
okay, sorry about that. We didn't give
no
any
worries.
heads up.
Listen, no worries. Let me just shuffle the rocks. What we need. Her name is Tiffany. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What we need are 3 numbers between 1 and 42.
Okay, let's see here. I don't know, since this is all through social media.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, you know what? Let me see. She said she's listing maybe 3 numbers between
1 and 42.
1 and 42. All right. Perhaps we should wait. How do you want to do this? Because I don't know if she's going to be able to give that through to us right now.
Oh, well, yeah, when she does, we'll just pop them up. How's that for improv? We're good.
Well, I would say, Allison, what stones are you working with as you prepare for this reading? Kind of take us through the process of what you do.
Oh, okay. Very good. That's an excellent question. Well, I have a bunch. I have rock reading kits. I actually have 5, and they are all different. I have one in the Rock Room, New York, one in Asheville School, one here in my studio, and then I have 2 travel kits, and they're all a little bit different, but they're a group of about 42, 50, about 63 stones. And what I do is I grid them, and they are, imagine, I like to do it on a black round table. With a black tablecloth. There's a grid underneath with numbers, and I put the stones on the numbers. So if someone is doing this in person, they'll just come choose the stones. But since I do a lot of readings over the phone and the radio, I put them on numbers. And when they're picking 3 or picking number 10 or 42, then what will happen is I'll just choose the stone that is actually on that number. And so that way I get to choose the numbers. And it's actually, you know what, it's interesting. The over-the-phone readings and the radio readings are actually a lot more, well, not a lot more, but they can be faster because people just pick numbers, whereas you ask them to pick a stone and they sit there all day deciding which one to choose. So when Tiffany's choosing 3 numbers between 1 and 42, she can just pop them in the Facebook chat. We're on Twitter.
Got them right here. Voila. Okay. 17, 4, and 19.
17, 4. Okay. And 19. Okay. A number. Okay. So I have more numbers to choose, but that's okay. Can she choose a number between 1 and 4 and 1 and 6? We can get more detail that way as well.
Hold on. 1 and 4 and 1 and 6. Choose one number between each one.
1 and 4 and 1 and 6.
Okay, yes. Hold on. I'm going to orchestrate this on my end, Mark. Take it away.
Yeah. Well, it's, I'll just tell everyone exactly how this works. I'm glad you asked. I forget to explain this sometimes. What I do is I connect energetically. Tiffany I do long distance Reiki, and the secret of the rock readings really are long distance Reiki, especially over the phone. I basically connect to her long distance Reiki wherever she is, because Reiki goes through space and time, and it connects her to me, and then I touch the stones, and therefore whatever stones that she takes aligns her chakras, auric field. It gives her a more clear and direct connection to her spirit guides, and therefore the messages come through for her. If we were having a conversation and the phone line was like scattered, then we would have a very spotty and perhaps inaccurate conversation, or in this case, a psychic reading. And so, this aligns everything. And then a weird thing happens through psychometry. When I touch the stone, I zoom in and I get more details about the topic. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Okay. So we just got the two numbers, 4 and 2.
4 and 2. Okay. What was her question again?
Her question is, do you see her moving in with her boyfriend this year and getting engaged?
Yes, the answer is, and I'm just going to explain this. The answer is yes, moving in, getting engaged perhaps later in the year, early next year. It's going to take a little while. There's some learning to do as far as navigating through the relationship. Be willing to change a little bit the way that she does things. There's going to be an acclimation time. Now, I know the two of you are happily married, correct? Mark and Kim.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So
yep.
you can
over 20 years.
Yeah. There you go. And as you can attest, there's a lot of kind of recalibration and acclimation. And I always tell my clients, you know what? It's, getting married is easy. Staying married is the challenge, right? So the answer is absolutely yes. The guides are showing that you will be moving in. And then in together, but be prepared to give and take a little bit. They're showing the willpower stone. So the two of them, one is not going to give more than the other, but the two of them are going to develop a new routine, a new rhythm. The guides are showing the word rhythm as to how their daily life is. And it's exciting. They have the soul stone here, which is they are connected on a soul level, which is always a great way to start off. And then they're showing the sodalite stone, which is a higher learning. And so Tiffany, I guess I should be speaking to you. Your relationship will begin to evolve at a very quick rate, especially end of spring, beginning of the summer, and morph into something that is really great. And it's going to take some energetic agility to keep up. And so a great way to do that is to call Mark and Kim and brush up on your spiritual skills, because when you bring two people together on the soul level, I love the spiritual alchemy that occurs. And going into the fall, it does feel like there is an engagement coming up. So I do hope that helps.
Great question, Tiffany. Thanks for submitting that to Inspired Living. And I agree with you, Allison. Marriage has a lot of hills and valleys, but it's all one great scenic view. So totally agree with that. And
yeah, a lot of learning here, like a lot of life lessons, which is great. That would not have occurred if she was not connecting with this other person.
Now we're going to be coming up into the last segment of the show, and I definitely want to get into talking about the Rock School. We did have a question come in from Kevin, and he wants to know why work with crystals, crystals and or rocks, why work with them, and what is your favorite stone to work with? Oh
goodness, loaded question. How long? Yeah, we have 5 minutes to the break.
5 minutes, just a few minutes, and then I'd like to start talking about the Rock School so the listeners can get an understanding of where you're at and what you do and how to reach out to you.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a great question. Why work with crystals and stones? Well, okay. There's there's crystals and then there's stones. Crystals are a type of stone. Now, stones in general create that immediate connection to Mother Earth to tap into her power that we talked about earlier on in the show. Okay? So when you're working with stones in general, it connects you more to Mother Earth, grounds you, roots you, and helps you become more connected on this earthly plane. crystals are a type of stone that send and refract light and energy. And so those are really great for aligning your chakras and auric field, which are energy centers. And the way that stones work, stones are a type of magnet. Magnets are a type of stone called magnetite, but all stones and crystals have an electromagnetic energy to them that either pulls it together or polarizes. And what you want to do is tap into the electromagnetic frequencies of the stones to, balance your energies, which are your chakras, which also connect to your endocrine glands and your physical organs, by the way. That's a whole nother class. But it helps you on the physical plane. It helps you balance mentally, emotionally. And of course, it can help you reach a more in-depth and detailed connection to the spiritual plane, as well as not only connecting to your spirit guides, but bringing the divine into your life on an everyday. So it can be used on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual planes. And it's a great way to marry the spiritual energy from above to Mother Earth energy. Number one way, as far as I'm concerned, when we're dealing with the physical body. So that is how they work in a nutshell. And there's an art to that, okay? You can't just pile on a bunch of stones. You have to figure out which ones work well together, which ones play nicely together, which ones attract and polarize. So that's it in a nutshell there. However, my favorite stone to work with, I would have to say labradorite. Okay. Labradorite is a fabulous stone. It contains all of the colors of the chakras in the auric field and the rainbows in its flash or its chatoyancy, the shiny part. And it is an auric fortifier and cleanser. So it cleanses you on the physical, mental, and emotional planes, but it's also a psychic stimulator. So it can really take you quite far in your psychic abilities. So I hope that helps.
Perfect. No, that was great. And Kevin, thanks for the question. We're going to be heading into our last break here and want to talk about the rock school that you are in charge of and the foundation of where it came from. And when we come back from break, I want to talk a little bit more in detail because you're up in New York and then also down in Asheville, North Carolina. So you're kind of bouncing between the two locations, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
putting it mildly. Yes.
Lots of bouncing back and forth. So we're going to be going into our last break, and when we come back on Inspired Living, we're going to be talking with Allison Hayes, the rock girl, all about her Sacred Stone School. You are listening to Inspired Living with Mark and Kim here on OMTimes Radio. We will be back in 2 minutes. Stick around.
The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Dr. Kevin here, and I want to invite you every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, to join me on the Dr. Kevin Show, where we have a diversity of guests who help you step outside the box, behind the curtain, and see what a load of crap is going on in the world today, so you have more information with which to make better decisions. We'll see you there. Namaste.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
If you remember living fearlessly, joyfully, and in a world filled with adventure, happiness, pleasure, and unbridled living, then this show is for you. Join me, Dame Nicole Brandon, as I bring you the world's top experts in wealth, creativity, flow, seat-edging technology, space, wellness, health, love, lust, and passion, all merging together each week here at the Hub of Happiness. Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Passionate Living, where you can ride on the magic carpet ride of living and learn how to lead a passionately wild, exciting, and outrageously amazing life.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
And welcome back to Inspired Living with Mark and Kim and our special guest, Allison Hayes, the Rock Girl. So, Allison, before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about your school and would love for you to share with our listeners, what you do at your schools, the different locations that you have, and all that can be learned in the special curriculums that you've set up unique to your own school.
Oh, okay. Where do I start? Let's see. All right. It's called the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School, and the URL is sacredstoneschool.com. I indeed have two locations. The school's larger location is based in Asheville, North Carolina, and it's a larger space. Kim, I think you've been here a couple of years ago, right?
That is accurate, and I can't even begin to tell the listeners what a treat that is. I mean, you just feel the energy when you walk into the school. There's something very special about it. So, yes.
Yeah, well, I've tried to bring all sorts of stones there together in for a true healing and cleansing, awakening, activation, and actualization. And so a lot of times I do teach remotely online. I teach in Japan. I go all over the United States, and I'll teach in conference centers. However, when people actually come to the school itself, you can experience the frequency of all of the stones in person, which really, really, really helps accelerate people's connection to the stone and their healing process. Now, I also have the Rock Room in New York City, and it's a smaller space, but equally as powerful. It's located in it's off on 44th Street near the Actor Studio, which is really cool. And it's a smaller space, but equally as powerful. And I do more private, intimate workshops in there only because it's smaller. So either place, you can actually walk in, sit amongst the stones, and feel the energy. Now, I teach psychic, I teach Reiki, I teach a lot about the stones. I have the Master Stone program, I have the planetary gridding program, and I also started an angel program. Now, how are these different? They're different. A lot of people teach the same stuff that I teach, or I should say I teach the same stuff as a lot of other people teach. But the difference is that what I do is I fold in the energies of the actual stones to that particular topic. When you come for a psychic class, we work with psychic stones. When you come to a Reiki class, we work with Reiki stones, the angel class, and so on and so forth. And so the stones accelerate your progress. And so that is really what the unique and kind of fun part of this all is. Another thing, Mark and Kim, about the school is people can come in and touch the stones, and a lot of times people go out and they think, I should buy this stone, I should buy that stone. No. Come and try them for yourselves, and you don't have to buy them for me, you can buy them somewhere else, but at least you have access. I try and have I like to have one of each type of stone that is in all of these books out there and then some. So if you say, oh, do you have shungite, or do you have rose quartz, or do you have, angelite? Oh, absolutely. Come here and work with it. And that way you're exposed to it and you're not in a rush and you're not under pressure to have to buy it. A lot of people come in and they say, oh, do you have citrine blah, blah. Someone told me to get it. And I'll say, yeah. And they'll say, I don't really have a big connection to this stone. And I'm like, okay, well, feel free to kind of fondle all of the other stones, free of charge, of course, and see what really works for you. So, I'd like to create this sanctuary where people can come and ground themselves and feel peace and take their time and just get to know the stones. At a lot of my classes, especially the intro classes, I teach you how to develop your own modality of communication with the stones. And so, it all started out with how to choose the right stone for you. It's not about selling the stones. It's about connecting to them. And then, I have intro classes to give you a nice little taste of everything. And then also, if people want to learn a skill like Reiki or psychic development, then I offer those classes as well. Or if people just want to come and go on the soul exploration kind of journey, I have the Crystalline Soul Mapping technique that I work with a lot of people, where we really take you on your own journey. And so I know, Mark, you have a stone that you got from me last fall, I believe. It's the peach stone. Yeah, it's the peach moonstone. And that is a perfect example of how that stone is attuning to your frequency, not only in this lifetime, but others.
And what was cool about that stone that I purchased from you, Allison, is I sent you a picture before the show, and for our listening audience, we both saw the same thing in the stone through the picture. I described it as a genie, looks like a genie, a silhouette of a genie, and you said a wizard. So,
yes.
And it's changed over time since I've had it, since the Best American Psychics spiritual conference there in Asheville, and very great, cool experience having that. And it sits right next to my bed and really helps with my dreamscape. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I have to add something. I know we don't have much time, but I know that you took that stone over to the UK, and I strongly feel that it connected to some type of energetic portal over there that is waking up in a past life of your wizard or magical genie powers, of obviously not only of the psychic world, but also of the earthly plane. And so what I want to know, what I would be curious to find out in the future, is that genie a reflection of you, or is that of one of your guides?
Ooh, interesting. I will let you know. And I'm heading to England again in 2016, and I'll be taking it with me. So we'll see how it grows and evolves. So very interesting.
Woo, so exciting. Yes. I've got goosebumps. Yeah.
I would love to add to this too, because just for our listeners, it's really amazing that Allison, when you buy a stone from her, she gives you the history behind that stone. And it's really an interesting process when you select a stone and how it kind of fits with whatever it is unknowingly, to what your needs are at that time. So like, I remember, I picked a skull from you, Allison, that, at that time I was wanting to enhance my mediumship abilities. I didn't know the specialty of this particular stone. But then when I took it to you, you said, oh, yes, that helps with your mediumship skills.
Yes, I remember you have one of the lapis lazuli ones. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So it's interesting how the right stone will appear for you at just the right time. And I didn't know this before either, but as we've been talking about how the stones change based on how you work with them and your energy, which I think is just phenomenal. And I finally feel like a real psychic now. I've got my crystals here. Thanks to Allison. I'm legit now,
And Kim, I would add to that is what's special about Allison is her memory. Like, she remembers all of the stones that she'll sell to you. I mean, I'll be honest, Allison, I didn't think you remembered what I had purchased. And when we were talking the other day, you just said, oh, you got the moonstone, peach moonstone, and went into full detail. So very, very impressive on the memory set of everything that you sell from your school and from your store.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's my OCD, is that I know every single stone. and that's why I don't openly sell stones on the open market, because it's like foster puppies. I have to know they're going to the right home. That's one of my little jobs. And it's funny because I sold hundreds and hundreds to the Japanese, and I went over there and I remembered every single stone that went, because I packed them and I sent them with love and positive energy. So yeah, I do. I remember all my babies.
You sure do.
Well, and that's, most people look at crystals and think, oh, that's a pretty one. I like the color over here, over there, but they don't think beyond that. And so just even hearing you talk about it, how you know the energy of each stone and where it's going to and the importance behind it. And I mean, that adds a whole nother level of an understanding for everyone else, right? Because most people aren't thinking, I don't think, in those terms of how they can work with Earth's precious stones.
Yes, absolutely, Kim. You hit the nail on the head. It is the energy of the stone connecting to the energy of the person, which in turn connects them to the energy of Mother Earth and Spirit. And so it is one big happy cycle.
And Allison, you had mentioned that we've only got a couple minutes left, but you're changing the curriculum of your school. Is that correct?
Well, I'm just adding to it. I have my programs, I have online, but I'm adding to the curriculum. And so I have added the planetary gridding, the angel program, and I'm going to be doing more soul journeys, three-day VIP weekends here in Asheville, where people can come learn and play at the same time.
Well, we're about at the end of the show. Allison, we did have another question from Inspired Listener, but we're not going to be able to bring it live to air. So after the show, I told the listener that you would respond on the Facebook page, Inspired Living Radio, for her question. It was kind of more that grid details as far as using the stones to answer a question that she had. But just want to, real quick, for our Inspired listeners, if you could give your website out one more time, and thanks again for being such an awesome guest.
Thank you so much,
pleasure.
Allison.
Thank you. This was great. I love your energies. Thank you so much. Folks, you can find me at www.therockgirl.com or the school at sacredstoneschool.com. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Allison. And for next week, we are going to have a very special guest, Eamon Downing, one of my spiritual mentors from England and part of the Arthur Findlay College, is going to be our special guest with the release of his new book called They Send Their Love, which is Memoirs and a Message of a Modern Medium. So if you're interested in spirituality, mediumship, what a modern medium looks like, check us out next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Inspired Living on OMTimes Radio with Mark and Kim. Until then, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Have a great week, everyone.